Hey everyone, my name's Matt and welcome to Calm Incense. In today's video, we're going to go through a beginner's guide to understanding incense, where it came from, what it is, how to burn it if you choose to do so, and really everything you need to know to start your incense journey. Now, going over a history of incense could take literally days. Incense has a massive history dating all the way back to when humans essentially first discovered fire. I'm sure at some point someone put some different type of piece of wood on the fire and went, hey, that smells different. And then the idea of burning different things came about, and that's essentially where incense came about. As long as we've been burning stuff, we've been trying to figure out what smells better and, generally go from there. Now, there are a lot of different cultures and some use incense more strongly than other. China, India, Japan, these cultures use a lot of different types of incense and they have various rituals and spiritual beliefs around incense, and really they use incense a lot more so than here in North America, but that doesn't mean you yourself can't use it. I use incense almost every single day and I absolutely love it, so if you like it, go ahead and use it. Now, what exactly is incense made out of? And incense by itself can be made out of a lot of different stuff, so it's hard to answer that exact question, what specifically is it? But to give you a breakdown, incense is a material that releases fragrant smoke when burned, made from a blend of aromatic ingredients, which can include resins, barks, seeds, roots, and even flowers. There's a massive amount of things you can actually get to smell differently when you burn them. So just think of the actual aromatic powder. There's a lot of stuff that can be used to create a different type of aroma. Fun fact, the actual word incense comes from the Latin word incensia, which means to burn. Now, depending on where the incense comes from, there are quite a few different types of them. Some of the common fragrances include cinnamon, frankincense, musk, myrrh, patchouli, and sandalwood. The combustible material that actually allows the incense to ignite in the first place is generally a mixture of either charcoal powder or wood powder. So to get the incense to actually light up and maintain a nice burn, you want to use something similar to a sawdust-like powder or like a charcoal dust that allows it to evenly burn slowly throughout the entire incense, emitting a nice even smoke that burns consistently. Now, what are the actual different types of incense? And I have two right here. There's 4 of them that I could find. This is what is called as an incense stick, and essentially you light it on one end like I'll show you in a second, and it burns down all the way, and it produces a nice even amount of smoke. They generally last 20 to 40 minutes, and it's really nice and easy. A lot of people burn these, especially in North America. It's just easy, it's simple, and you can buy a whole bunch for pretty cheap. I really like them for people first starting off. The next type of incense I want to talk to you about is kind of hard to see here. It's called an incense cone. And the cool thing about a cone is normally when you burn the stick, the incense smoke goes up. With a cone, the smoke goes down, leading to a lot of cool effects that you can do. I have an incense burner that is essentially like a Buddha and the smoke goes down. It's really cool. I'll show you that in another video, but I'll put a couple up on screen just so you guys can get an idea of what these actually look like. They're really cool, and if you want to amaze your friends or even yourself, it's a really cool idea to use, and really I like using these inside just because the smoke doesn't go everywhere. It's much easier to manage that way. Now, the next type is incense coils. If you've ever used any sort of like citronella coil, they're essentially the same thing, just they have different types of incense in them as opposed to just citronella to keep bugs away. By the way, fun fact, incense is really good at keeping bugs away because bugs generally don't like any type of strong smell, which is kind of nice if you want to just sit outside and relax in peace. And these coils are really great for long sessions as they provide an even burn, and they can last quite a long time, especially if you're just sitting outside enjoying a glass of coffee or maybe a drink at the end of the day. The final type of incense I want to talk about is resin incense, and this is a really cool one. Essentially, it's like a hard oil substance that you can essentially put in, like, imagine a plate. I'll put a description up on screen or a photo. And underneath the plate, you can have a lighter or a candle or some type of heating element, and this will melt the resin down, emitting the aroma. And these are really cool. I've got a couple in our house, and it's just really nice. It's a nice even burn. I would say this is probably the easiest one to manage because you could just set it and kind of forget it, especially if the burner is like an on an automatic timer. Very easy, very basic stuff. It's a nice, easy thing to burn in your own house if you want to kind of set it and forget it in a way. Now, moving forward, how do we go about choosing our first type of incense? And that is a unique question all of itself. I'm going to speak from personal experience here and what I wish I had known prior to actually burning and going and buying a whole bunch of different types of incense. Is the first thing I would recommend is figure out what you like. And that is easily done by generally just buying some type of bulk pack online. You can go on Amazon. There's a whole bunch of websites. I just like Amazon because it's simple here. And you can go and get a decent amount of each different type of fragrance, burn a few, figure out which one you like, and then double down on the ones you like and get rid of the ones you didn't like. That's what I did, and I find that the actual bulk packs where they have all these different combinations is just super easy, especially if you're just getting into incense altogether. I would definitely go with the incense sticks as they're just easier to remember. Normally they're in individual packages so you know exactly what type of incense it is. If you go with the cones, sometimes they just throw them all in one bag and you kind of have no idea what you're burning. So it is what it is. However, two general principles I would give you are that things that are more subtle like lavender and sandalwood, much better for relaxation. However, if you think something is like a stronger smelling like a rosemary or mint, generally going to be more focus related. I don't really love sitting outside having a morning coffee and just getting a giant smell of mint because that will wake you up, as opposed to like a sandalwood or something similar to that where it's much more relaxing. So depending on what you want to go with, even do a little bit of research on the type of aromas and how strong they are and what they're meant for. I have a guide that I'll share with you at the end of the video to kind of figure out what you're looking for. But that's kind of my general recommendations for when you're first starting off. Now, how do we actually go about burning incense? I'm going to move our little cone here so we don't burn it. By the way, incense, very hot. You need to be safe when doing this stuff. Please do not leave this unattended. It is very, very important that someone is always here monitoring the incense. I did a test the other day just to see if I could light an incense stick with another incense stick. Turns out you can. They're very hot. They will also burn through cardboard and wood. And though in my experiments they didn't catch on fire, they did see the massive burn marks in them. So please don't leave them unattended. They are a fire hazard. Now, when it comes to lighting them, very, very simple. I would use some sort of stand. You can get them cheap on Amazon or even stick them in the dirt somewhere, maybe like in a garden that doesn't have grass or anything around it. Also a possibility as well. All you have to do to light it is grab a lighter of some sort. Anything will do, even a match. Come over here, light this up. And as you can see, it will start to turn black. And then once we get a little bit of a flame, 1, 2, 3, then we'll get a smoke emitting and the incense is good to go. Now this will slowly burn down for about 20 to 40 minutes depending on what you're doing, and honestly it smells great already and I really, really like it. So that's how we light an incense. It's super easy, it's not difficult. The cone itself I might show in another video, a little bit more difficult, but again, same principle. You light the little tip here at the beginning and it will slowly burn down instead of burning like that. So pretty easy. The smoke of course goes up, and please, like I said before, be safe with this stuff and monitor it. It is a fire hazard and it is still fire. Just because it is a coal, you still gotta monitor it. Now while I sit here and enjoy my incense, I want to talk to you about incorporating incense into your daily routine. And that it's pretty easy to do, and for me personally, I love going outside in the morning, having a cup of coffee, lighting a stick of incense, or two maybe, and just sitting down, smelling it, and enjoying it. It really allows me to be put into some sort of just a state of mind that's calm, easy, and I don't really gotta think of anything. For whatever reason, smells can really influence my mood, and I think they can do that for a lot of people. If you're having a little bit of a stressful morning, put on a stick of incense, just sit back, have a cup of coffee, and relax, maybe a tea, whatever you want to do. And it just makes the whole mood a lot better. Now, where else can we incorporate this throughout our day? Well, if you're taking a 10-15 minute break outside, maybe you light a stick of incense. Or maybe if you're sitting in an office, you could use one of these cones and just burn it alongside you while you work. I also love to burn incense while I'm meditating, specifically outside. I've been meditating now for quite a few years, and it just allows me to calm down, really focus on nothing, and really just rest and unwind if you had a stressful day, especially if you checked a whole bunch of emails, you're like, what can I do? And just grab your favorite drink, sit outside, burn a little bit of incense. It's nice. And that's what I do normally at the end of the day as well, just to relax, unwind, and, forget about all the troubles in the world for a second. Now I have two things to ask. One is, Where do you implement your own incense? Where do you find the most relaxation it comes from? What are your favorite aromas? Leave that down below. I'd really love to hear what you guys think and really how you use your own incense to, make yourself in maybe a better space or whatever it is you use it for. And the second thing is, if you're curious about learning more about incense, I have a completely free guide down below. This entire guide just goes over everything I would want to know as a beginner getting into incense and learning a whole bunch more. Again, completely free, and the link for that is down below. Now, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding incense, feel free to leave a comment down below. Like I said previously, maybe give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, and I wish you all well.